Hey, you, hope you're well. Welcome to Exploring Spirituality. I am Nikki DeForest. And yes, on this channel, we talk a lot about spirituality, but I also share what I've learned during my cancer journey. Along my cancer journey, I'm just going to say this up front in this video. I am recording this on January 14th of 2022. It is Mercury retrograde. And I am a little tongue-tied today, so just bear with me. I've got bullet points, I've got notes to use, and I'm gonna try and get through this during Mercury retrograde, but we'll get there. So first, some particulars. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in March of 2021. As I record this, like I said, it's January 14th of 2022, so I'm about 10 months in, give or take a few days. I am still healing. I assumed when I was diagnosed, I kind of calculated like 12 months from surgery that I'd be healed, and my surgery was in April of 2021. So, I still have some time to heal, but I I think we need to define what healing is a little differently. So, what the doctors will never tell you about surgery is that you will never be the same again. Never. Not only are there visible scars, there is nerve damage, lots and lots of nerve damage. You're just never going to feel the same way again afterwards. So when we talk about healing, it's not like our bodies are magically going to be healed and they're going to be the same as they were before. That's not what we're talking about here. I think what I'm talking about when I say healing, I think my expectation is to just get back to the energy levels that I had before. I'm pretty well fully functional. I've gained probably 90% of my range of motion in my arms. I'm not convinced that it will ever be 100% again. It's just not. I feel though, as long as I'm fully functional, that is what I'm going to consider healed. That's my framework, at least. And speaking of framework, when I was first diagnosed, I realized that this cancer journey was also going to be like the biggest self-care project of my life. I chose to look at my cancer as a journey, as a self-care project, as healing. I I was not from the perspective of battling or being a warrior of cancer. That's just that just wasn't how I thought of it or how I felt about it. By the time I was diagnosed, I was exhausted already from the cancer. The cancer had likely been in my body for a full year prior to my diagnosis. So I was exhausted, battling and warrioring. If it serves you, please do that. But it did not serve me. So I'm just offering up a different perspective here. Do what is best for you and how you feel about your cancer, your prognosis, your treatment, your path, your journey, because each one of us will have a different timeline, different surgeries, different treatments. I had a bilateral mastectomy with no reconstruction. So that has a different healing timeline than a reconstructive surgery does. I had radiation treatment in and did not have chemotherapy. So that has, again, a different healing timeline and different impacts to our body as well. I am currently still being treated with medication. I am taking some hormone therapy. So that I don't know how that impacts healing. It just brought in some different symptoms into the mix. So that changes kind of how I care for myself and the things that I do for myself as well. So basically, just frame your cancer journey, frame your healing journey, however it serves you, whether it's a battle, whether it's a healing, a self-care project, whatever works for you. Choose a mindset, choose a perspective, choose the way that you want to feel about your cancer. Just know that there are different ways to deal with it, different ways to view it and feel about it. So besides that kind of self-care mindset that I approached my cancer with, I also have to say that healing is non-linear, meaning like we don't just get a little bit better, a little bit better, and a little bit better, and each day we just feel a little better and a little better. No, not even a little bit. Healing is like, okay, oh, I feel okay today. Oh no, I don't feel well for a few days. Maybe a good day and a bunch of bad days, maybe a bunch of good days and then a few bad days. It seemed like, okay, so fresh out of surgery, of course, you're down and out. You just had surgery, your body's all healing intensely. And then you begin to have some good days and a few more good days, but there's still a lot of bad days, a lot of healing where there's a lot of pain and inflammation, and then a few more good days. And then pretty soon you have more good days than bad days. And then eventually you'll have a lot more good days than bad days. And then one day you'll be like, oh, this is not a good day. Like you'll almost be surprised when you have bad days because you've had so many more good days. It's just a roller coaster, good days and bad days. It just is a mixed bag. And I never knew until I woke up and got my tea, like what the day was going to bring. And even if I started out having a great day, something could happen and I could turn and feel really badly all of a sudden, or have so much pain just out of the blue that it would be like, oh, okay, well, I was having a good day, but now this is not such a good day. So that kind of variability is kind of hard to deal with, especially for our loved ones who are helping us through this all. So how I handled that is I actually had a conversation with my husband one day and I would say, I will let you know when I'm having a good day or a bad day, and you might even be able to see that. But just know that even if I'm having a good day, that good day could turn into a bad day just like that. Just like in a snap, my good day could be a bad day. So just kind of be ready for anything. And I actually had that conversation with him so that he would understand that understand that roller coaster of a healing journey, and he could adjust and treat me accordingly. And it seemed to work. It worked for us, and maybe it could work for you as well. I'm gonna take a sip of tea. If you got a beverage, hydrated. Hot though. Also, you want to make sure that you're listening to your body. Each day of our healing journey, our body could have different needs. Some days we'll need much more hydration. Some days we'll need more food. Some days we'll need less food. Some days we'll need more sleep. Other days we'll just need rest instead of sleep. Listen to your body and give it what it needs in that moment. And that includes like food cravings. This is what I didn't expect. It was after my radiation therapy. I had 16 rounds of radiation, and they were all kind of like every business day for 16 days. And then it wasn't until like a week or two after my treatments ended that I felt the full effects of that radiation therapy. And that's when the symptoms were most pronounced. And I was at my most wounded and blistered and crusty and painful was that far out. And I actually had food cravings as I was healing from my radiation therapy, and they were weird cravings. I actually had a craving for fish. I think my body was craving fish oils. So I made sure to feed myself fish and whatever else I was craving, whether it was protein or uh, like fruit or vegetables, whatever it was, I made sure that my body had it. Because our body does communicate to us what it needs based on food cravings. So as long as they're healthy, and maybe even if they're not a little healthy, you can indulge a little bit. But as long as they're healthy, make sure you're listening to your body and giving what it needs, whether that's, like I said, rest, hydration, or whatever foods it's craving. And I said rest before, but our body heals mostly when we are sleeping. That healing process works overnight while we sleep. So sleep is critical. And if you're like me and you have suffered or have experienced insomnia throughout your life, sleeping is likely challenging while you're healing, especially after surgery, or like for me, radiation treatment really impacted my skin, and that was very painful. It was hard to get comfortable then too. But we need as much sleep as we can physically get because that's where we heal. So whatever you can do to help you sleep is going to be worth your while. And I was helped by having this pillow system by Sleep Again Pillow. So um, if you struggle to sleep after surgery and I have got a recommendation, so stick around. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Sleep though. Sleep is critical. And if you can't sleep, rest. Rest more when you can't sleep as much. Like I said, I dealt with insomnia for a while, so it's good to know that even if we can't sleep, we can still rest, and that still helps our body. Also, we are, when we're going through cancer, surrounded by doctors. We have so many doctors in our lives. I know I had at least a breast cancer surgeon. I had my medical oncologist. I had the radiation doctor, radiation oncology doctor. I had, I'm sure I'm forgetting all, I can't even count the number of techs and nurses as well. We are surrounded by doctors. They are the experts when it comes to cancer and cancer treatment. But we are the experts when it comes to our body. So no matter what we're experiencing, we want to, like I said before, we want to keep an eye on what our body is telling us. But also we want to keep a physical eye on our body. We want to make sure that we're checking our wounds. We want to make sure, like after radiation, that we're checking all our blister spots, all the spots underneath our arms, or any place where we've got an eruption or blemishes or severe damage from the radiation therapy. We want to keep checking up on ourselves, and if we find anything out of the ordinary or anything that's healing in the wrong direction or not doing well, that's when we call our doctor's office, talk to the nurse or talk to whoever we have access to, a nurse navigator or the nurse at medical oncology or radiation oncology or anybody who it's related to, I would say. Depending on which phase you're in. Like if you have complications or you're experiencing something you're not sure about in your surgery, contact your surgeon's office. If you are experiencing something from radiation, contact your radiation doctor's office. So whichever it's more related to, contact that doctor. But no, we are the experts of our body. So we need to be tracking our progress and alerting the doctors if there is something that we don't understand or that we think is not feeling right or not looking right or not healing right. And I want to share with you a story. This happened to me kind of during and after my radiation treatment. During radiation treatment, kind of in the later I had, like I said, 16 rounds of it. So it was like in the later treatments where there was one blister that was identified under my arm, kind of near my surgical site. And it didn't, we were just keeping an eye on it while I was going to active treatments. And after treatment, yeah, because most of the symptoms from radiation show up after the treatment's over. So after my treatments were over, I would get my little mirror out and check that little blister every single day. And I saw problems. It was not healing. In fact, it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it became a hole, and then there was like an open wound. And red alert, as soon as I saw that it was not actually ever healing, it was just getting bigger and worse and worse. That's when I was called the nurse at my radiation doctor's office, and I said, remember that blister? It is getting worse. It is not closing. It is not closing at all. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they gave me like more medications, and then they started watching it with me. I went in there a couple of times just so they could look at that one area. We figured out a way to bandage it, because how do you bandage something under your arm when you have blisters everywhere? Like when you have so much skin damage, you can't tape it. Anyway, it was a challenge. It was a challenge that if I had let it go, if I had not shown up at my doctor's office and said, I got this, or called and said, I've got a blister that's not going away and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Had I not said that, it would have continued to get worse. I would have, who knows what would have happened. Let's just say that it was getting worse, not better. And just watch your body and be aware. And when something like that happens to you, make sure you reach out to the doctors. I'll say it again. The doctors are experts of cancer treatment. We are experts of our own body. I'm going to take a sip though. Oh, yum. Yum. So we covered a few things here. We said self-care as a mindset. Healing isn't linear. Listen to what your body's saying. Our body heals while we sleep, so make sure we get enough sleep and or rest. And the doctors are the experts on cancer, but we are the experts on our own body. Speak up if you feel something is not right. In each one of my videos, I highlight someone I've worked with or who has inspired me, and this video is no different. I am giving a shout out to Sleep Again Pillows. Sleep Again Pillows saved my life, I swear. As I mentioned, I have had insomnia on and off my entire life. Sleeping does not come easy to me, especially after surgery when we are in so much pain and uncomfortable. And Sleep Again pillows are a system of pillows. They have different shapes and sizes of pillows for different functions. And so there's two pillows that kind of shape together to form a U shape. And when you put them together, you can lay inside of them, and they really just cradle. They cradled my body in a way that meant I could not roll over and hurt myself. So that was a relief. There's also wedges to put under our knees if we have problems with our lower back, or just to protect our lower back since we'll be in bed for a little bit after surgery. There were pillows for resting arms. There was a pillow to raise and lower the head. Sleep Again pillows are an amazing pillow system, and they really helped me sleep very well after my cancer surgery. And what I really love about them is that they are a company founded by breast cancer survivors. And I have found in my cancer journey that the tools that help me the best were often developed or created by breast cancer survivors. So even if you're not dealing with breast cancer, if you're dealing with upper body surgery or any kind of surgery, or you just don't sleep very well, check out these pillows. They're flippin' awesome. I will leave a link to the pillow company and some of their social media below so you can follow along. They're brilliant. They're cancer survivors. They're out here just like me trying to pay it forward by developing products to make cancer patients' lives better. I love them. I hope this helped. I hope that you were able to I don't know, think about your healing in a different way. Maybe this helps you on your healing journey. I'd be really grateful. I am grateful for your supporting the channel by viewing, by liking, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And until the next time on Exploring Spirituality, I love you. Be well.